Okay, so you know how it goes. Sending out resumes can feel like, shouting into a void.
Yeah, it's like that resume black hole everybody talks about.
Exactly. You put all this effort in and got nothing. But what if, instead of just trying to, find a job, we could unlock hidden opportunities?
It's funny, we're almost conditioned to think about job hunting the wrong way.
Right.
We put all the emphasis on finding the job and not the connection that really unlocks it all.
That is such a good point. It's like we're trying to force a square peg into a round hole or something. And this source we're looking at, they have this whole different approach called the Lampe method.
Yeah, the land P method. It's really interesting. It's strategic networking, but it starts with this L, building your list.
Okay, a list.
But not just any list. It's got to be strategic, right? 40 companies. But here's the thing. They got to be companies that you're actually excited about.
Not just applying to everything under the sun.
No, no, no. Places you could actually see yourself at, where you'd actually want to work.
Okay, so finding the right fit, not just any fit, but how do I even start to narrow it down? I mean, 40 companies, that still feels like a lot to manage.
Think about it this way. Would you rather just blast out 100 resumes or really target 40 really good messages to people doing stuff that you actually find interesting?
Okay, I see where you're going with this. Quality over quantity.
Exactly.
So let's say I've got my list, right? 40 companies, I'm excited about them. What do I do? How do I actually connect with the people there? Because, I'm assuming cold emailing the CEO is probably not going to get me very far.
Yeah, you don't want to go in cold. That's where the A comes in, alumni.
Alumno.
Yeah, LinkedIn. That's where this comes in handy. You're not just sending out random connection requests. You're looking for people who've got that shared connection.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Maybe you went to the same school, you volunteered for the same nonprofit, you were even at, a previous company at the same time, something like that.
So it's like you instantly have that that thing you can connect with them about.
Exactly. Because, let's face it, people are much more likely to respond to someone they feel like they already have something in common with.
That makes sense. It's like when you meet someone at a party and you realize you both love the same obscure band or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Instant connection.
Instant bond. Okay, but hold on. You can't just reach out to everyone on that alumni list, right? I mean, some people are probably way more open to networking than others.
You're absolutely right, and that is where M comes into play, motivation.
Motivation.
Yeah, you've got to figure out how motivated this person is.
Hmm.
Are they active on LinkedIn?
Hmm.
Are they mentoring other people? Have they posted about, being open to connecting with people in your field? Those are the clues.
So it's like you're doing detective work. It's not just a name and a job title anymore. You're actually trying to understand who they are, what they care about.
Exactly. Because if you get that, then you can tailor your outreach to really resonate with them, on a personal level.
Okay, that makes a ton of sense. So I've got my list of companies. I've found those alumni connections, and I've kind of figured out who might actually respond to me. Now, for the big question, what on earth do I say? Because let's be real, those generic, I saw your profile and I want to connect messages, those are just going straight into the void, right?
Oh, 100%. That's where the P comes in.
The P,
Posting.
posting, like posting my resume everywhere.
No, 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 not posting your resume everywhere. It's
Yeah.
about the message, right? It's got to be personalized,
Yeah.
got to be something that actually gets their attention.
Yeah.
And the key, honestly,
Yeah.
lead with your curiosity.
Okay, so less please hire me.
Yeah.
And more like, hey, I'm actually interested in what you do.
Exactly. Like, remember those clues we talk about their motivation? Use those, right?
Right.
Craft a message that actually speaks to that.
I see what you're saying.
For example, right? Let's say you're looking at someone's profile and they recently made this career jump that you find super interesting.
Okay, yeah.
You could say something like, hey, I was really impressed by how you went from, this role to this role. I'd love to hear more about how you pulled that off.
Oh, I like that.
Right.
It doesn't feel demanding at all. It's just you're genuinely interested in their story.
Exactly. Or say you're really curious about the challenges they face in their field.
Okay.
You could be like, I'm really fascinated by, whatever industry it is, and I'm super interested to get your take on the biggest hurdles facing the industry right now.
That's brilliant.
Right.
Because you're coming at it as a fellow explorer, right? Someone who's already thinking critically about the field they want to be in, not just another job applicant.
And that's what makes you stand out.
Right. Totally.
Because if you're getting bombarded with generic requests all day, who are you going to respond to? Someone who piques your interest.
100%. This is about standing out from the crowd, not just being another face in the crowd. And I can see how, like, leading with curiosity instead of desperation, it just changes the whole vibe.
Completely.
You're not, like, begging for a favor. You're inviting them to share their knowledge.
And here's the thing about curiosity, right?
Yeah.
It's contagious.
Oh, that's a good point.
The more you want to learn from them, the more they end up wanting to learn about you too.
It's true. And it's like that saying, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yes.
And I think this approach really shows that. You're showing them you care about their work, what they do, their journey.
And that's powerful stuff. It makes you a real person, not just a name on a resume.
This all sounds amazing in theory, but does this actually, work? Like in the real world?
Oh, it totally does. In
Right.
fact, this source we're looking at, it talks about this career coach, Amit Patel,
Okay.
and he's helped tons of people like totally transform their job searches
Yeah.
using this method. He tells this story about this product designer who was stuck in that rut, right?
Oh, sending out resumes with no response.
Exactly.
Well, it's the worst.
The worst feeling. So this guy, he decides to try the LMP method, narrows it down, 20 companies he's really interested in, finds 15 people of those companies he wants to connect with. But here's the thing. He doesn't lead with, I need a job.
Mm-hmm.
He comes at it with curiosity. Ask of their career paths, the challenges they've faced, the things he's genuinely interested in about their work.
Okay, I'm hooked. What happened?
Within a week, he's got 4 informational interviews lined up,
Wow.
just from changing how he approached networking.
That's amazing.
He went from radio silence to having real conversations with people who actually want to talk to him.
That's a pretty dramatic turnaround.
And it gets better. 2 weeks later, he gets a message from a hiring manager at one of his target companies.
No way.
This hiring manager, they were so blown away by his questions, by how genuinely interested he was, that they were like, let's cut to the chase.
Yeah.
When can you start?
He skipped the whole resume black hole altogether.
Completely bypassed it.
Just by making a genuine connection.
That's the power of this approach, right? It's about finding that fit.
It really is. He went from 0 responses to a job offer in like a few weeks just because he focused on building relationships instead of just submitting applications.
Exactly. And it just goes to show you the best jobs, they often go to the people who feel like the right fit. And building those authentic connections, that's how you unlock those opportunities.
So if someone's listening to this right now and they're thinking, okay, that all sounds great, but where do I even begin? What's that first step to actually like putting this LMP method into action?
Honestly, I think it starts with a little bit of a mindset shift.
Okay.
Instead of thinking of yourself as a job seeker who's desperate for anything, right? Think about yourself as a network builder, someone who's genuinely curious about the people and the companies doing this stuff that actually gets them excited.
I like that because it takes the pressure off of needing to have the perfect resume, right?
Totally.
It's about connecting with actual humans.
And those connections, those are what lead to the really, juicy opportunities.
They do.
So start with those companies,
Yeah.
right? The ones that you're like, man, I would love to work there.
Okay.
Not just the big names, but the ones you genuinely connect with,
Yeah.
whose values you really vibe with. And then fire up LinkedIn and just start poking around.
Okay.
Look for those shared connections, right?
Yeah.
Maybe someone went to your alma mater, or maybe they worked at a company you admire, or they volunteer for a cause you're passionate about.
So those little shared experiences, those can be such great conversation starters.
Exactly. Because it's like that aha moment that draws people in, right?
It is. And when you do reach out, no more of those desperate pleas, right?
No, absolutely not.
We're all about curiosity here.
100%. Curiosity over desperation, remember.
Yes.
Ask those thoughtful questions.
Yes.
Show them you've actually taken the time to look at what they're about. Position yourself as someone who's, ready to learn and contribute, not just like, give me a job.
This has been so eye-opening. Honestly, I'm taking notes over here. It's totally changed how I think about this whole job search process.
It's a different way to approach it, for sure.
It's not about those resumes anymore. It's about making those real connections that can, unlock those doors you didn't even know were there.
And honestly, approaching it with that curiosity, that excitement, that makes all the difference.
It does.
Because, it might not always be easy, but if you approach it with that genuine, desire to connect with people you admire,
Yeah.
it's amazing what can happen.
Well, on that note, that's a wrap on our deep dive into unlocking those hidden job opportunities.
Mm.
We hope this helped. And remember, it's not about luck, it's about strategy and putting yourself out there. Go build those relationships. You got this.